Think about the last meal you ate. Where were you? If you were like most people in the modern world, you were alone. Phone in hand, screen in front of you, the food disappearing without you really tasting it. No conversation, no laughter, no one to pass anything to. Just you and the quiet. That quiet has a name, it has a cause, and it is not your fault. For the vast majority of human existence, eating alone was not just uncommon, it was nearly impossible. Around 1.8 million years ago, our ancestor Homo erectus did something no animal had ever done before. Cooked. Richard Wrangham, biological anthropologist at Harvard University, spent decades building the case in his landmark book, Catching Fire. His argument is stunning in its simplicity. Cooking did not just change what we ate, it changed what we were. Before fire, early humans spent up to 6 hours a day chewing, the same as chimpanzees do today. Tough, raw food, relentless and solitary work. Fire changed the calories. Cooked food released more energy. The digestive tract shrank, and freed from 6 hours of chewing, something extraordinary happened. Humans gathered. The fire was not just a heat source, it was the first dining table, the first communal space, the first place where humans sat together night after night and shared. Eating together did not come after human society. Eating together created it. In 2017, Robin Dunbar, professor of evolutionary psychology at the University of Oxford, published a landmark study on communal eating. He surveyed thousands of people across the United Kingdom. The findings were not subtle. Those who eat socially more often are happier, more satisfied with their lives, more trusting of strangers, more engaged with their communities, and they have more friends they can call in a genuine crisis. The causal direction Dunbar was careful to show runs one way. Eating together produces the bond. The bond does not produce the eating. But why? What is actually happening inside the body when you share a meal? The answer is endorphins. Eating itself, the act of chewing, swallowing, tasting, triggers the endorphin system, the same neurochemical released during laughter, during physical touch, during synchronized movement. When you eat with others, laughing between bites, passing food, making eye contact, your endorphin system activates on multiple channels simultaneously. Your body is not just feeding itself, it is bonding at a chemical level, every meal, every time. When you eat alone, the endorphin pathway is quieter. The food enters, the calories are processed, but the biological ritual, the one your ancestors performed around every fire for 1 million years, goes unfinished. Every civilization that has ever existed organized itself around communal eating. Not as custom, not as preference, as structure. In ancient Sparta, the agoge, the military training system, required that every soldier, regardless of rank or wealth, eat all meals communally, in the same room, from the same food. The shared meal was the army. The Roman convivium, the feast, was not entertainment. It was the mechanism by which alliances were formed, debts negotiated, loyalties tested. You understood a man by who sat beside him and what he shared. In West Africa, a practice documented across dozens of cultures placed all food in a single central bowl, eaten together by hand in a circle. In Sierra Leone, this sharing from one bowl was the critical gesture of reconciliation after conflict. Peace was not declared, it was eaten. The Islamic iftar, the breaking of the Ramadan fast, gathers families and strangers across the Muslim world every sunset for a month. 1 billion people eating together simultaneously because the tradition understood something biology is only now naming. The Last Supper, Passover, Diwali, the Chinese New Year feast, the Thanksgiving table. Every spiritual tradition in human history chose a meal as its highest ritual. Not a speech, not a ceremony, a meal shared. According to the 2025 World Happiness Report, drawing on data from the American Time Use Survey, 1/4 of all American adults now eat every single meal alone. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, alone. That is a 50% increase in the last 20 years. Among young adults under 35, the generation with more digital connection than any in history, the numbers are highest. The World Health Organization declared loneliness a global public health crisis in November 2023. The US Surgeon General compared chronic loneliness to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. These are not statistics about people who are antisocial. These are statistics about people who live alone in cities built for cars, who eat at desks built for productivity, who order food to apartments with one chair. The infrastructure of modern life was not designed around human biology. It was designed around industrial efficiency. And the body, your body, has been trying to tell you something is wrong every time you sit down to eat in silence. So, what do you do with this? The research does not call for grand gestures. It does not ask you to overhaul your life. Dunbar's data shows that even one shared meal per week produces measurable increases in happiness, trust, and sense of belonging. One meal with one other person per week. Not a dinner party, not a performance, just food and someone beside you. The person does not have to be a close friend. Dunbar found that even meals with acquaintances, the colleague, the neighbor, the person from the building, activate the same endorphin bonding response. Your body does not require a deep relationship to feel less alone at the table. It requires a presence. There is something else worth knowing. The act of preparing food together activates the endorphin system before the first bite. Cooking beside someone, chopping, stirring, waiting together is itself the ritual. The meal begins the moment two people enter the same kitchen with the same intention. Your ancestors understood this. Every culture understood this. The table was never just furniture. It was the technology of human connection. And you can use it tonight. For 300,000 years, every human who ever lived sat down to eat with other humans. The food was shared before it was tasted. The fire was built for all of them. The conversation happened before anyone picked up a bone or a berry. Eating together was not a luxury. It was not a social grace. It was the foundation on which everything human was built. Language, trust, community, love, all of it began around a shared meal. You are not broken. You are ancient. I want to ask you something before you go. Think of the last time you ate a meal with someone that you still remember. What made it matter? Tell me in one sentence below. I read every one.